Guys, good evening everyone. Welcome to our daily stock market insights with a special episode for today. And what's interesting in our episode today is I will reveal what is in my portfolio. Okay, so by the way, today is December. What date is it today?
It's December 4th.
It's already December 4. Okay. Today's December 4 because it's already around 1:48 in the morning. But the chart you will see here is for a December 3 market performance. But in this episode, I will focus my discussion on the stocks that are currently in my portfolio, and I'll give you a backstory of what the status of each one and the reason why I entered in those stocks. Okay, so by the way, before I get started, before I reveal my portfolio, I'd like to first introduce myself. I am Miss JD, and I here in this channel I review stocks from the Philippine market, sometimes stocks in the U.S. market, or even cryptocurrency. So if you like this type of content, I'm inviting you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, so you're always updated whenever I have new videos. So let's get started, guys. Are you ready to see what's in my portfolio? Okay, of course I will not see the amount. So what I have here is this. Okay, so I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 stocks in my portfolio. And the longest stock that I have with me, as you can see, is none other than ATN. Okay, so notice my average price here was 1.38, and the current value of current price of ATN right now is 1.03. So let's try to dissect what was the backstory of ATN. So if I'm to go back, so I really cannot exactly remember the date, but I have an idea when, probably around this period, 2019. No, it even reached um, I know, I think around this level. I think I was a victim of FOMO. All right, here. I think I held on to this stock right at this period around 2018, and then it even managed to go up. Okay, I think what happened here was I know I was already profitable at one point here, but I did not take profit, and then eventually uh, that profit ended up in a negative. So I was not able to exit right away because I was expecting that I could still earn some more or even more. And then eventually, I was just having that kind of emotion. How the majority would actually be in a situation when um, we were already at the height of being profitable, and we're so greedy that the stock will still continue to go up, and then eventually as it goes down and then goes back to your average price, we were still in denial. I was in denial. I was thinking that it will recover, and eventually it went lower than my average, and that was the time when I was having a difficult, cutting losses for me before was really difficult, even though it was just a small amount. But as I gained tenure in this craft or in this industry, I really realized that it's better to cut loss, but I have to do it really quick. I have to do it right away. And so this is what happened. I had to bear with that um, huge loss. Okay, I can't even remember. Maybe I entered somewhere here, but one thing's for sure. I know that oh yeah, it was this one. This period. Because I know I was in a meeting this time. I was checking my my portfolio while in a meeting, and we were already at this level, and then I was not able to exit, and that's a downside when you're working and then you're trying to trade. Then, as I was saying earlier, when the average reached lower my I mean the price reached lower than my average, I was still in denial. I hesitated to cut my loss, and then it eventually went back beyond the one, how much was that? 138. So there was a period here, like this period over here, that was a positive, that was a green, until eventually it went red. And that was the time when the percent loss was already increasing. It even reached as high as 40% loss, or even more than that. Imagine the lowest point here was 0.87. So 138, because I did not average down here. 138. So if you're just going to measure that from 138 to as low as, oh, this is the lowest. There, the lowest here was around this part. See, it even reached as low as 70%. Yes, it reached as low as 72%. So imagine that. That was really painful to see. And because the amount of my loss at this point was already really significant, so I said, okay, I just gotta hang in there, and then wait for it to recover. So I think this is a lesson learned for me. Um, this is a lesson. One lesson that I learned from here is I gotta cut my loss. First of all, technical understanding the technical analysis and staying true to our trades is really important, because I already was profitable here, but I was too greedy, and I did not exit. Then that ended in a loss. When I got lower, or when I reached an average lower than or when I reach a price lower than my average, the second lesson that I learned here is that I really have to cut my loss early, or else time is something that I have wasted here. I had to stay in this stock for what? 2 years because of this. Well, one good thing here is that, well, I did not average down, because for me, the background of the company is just so. Before, I was really hoping that it will go big, because ATN is involved in the build project of the government, right? But when COVID came, I know, looking at it, I was thinking, well, I think this should be a the best time to average down. But there's a pandemic. How can the government continue their projects? And so I did not choose that. I chose my MRC. Remember, I shared to you before that I also had a high average in MRC, but there were a lot of good speculations about MRC. So I chose that, and I did my average. I did average down there, and eventually I got some very good gains from there. And so this one, what I'm expecting here is that uh, I am positive that eventually this will continue to go up, because at the moment, if you are to check the movement of this stock, we're starting to recover, and I know ATN is also involved in um, the subway project, right? So I know they got some good deals there. At the same time, their build project of the government is starting to recover, and I think that those two things are my catalysts here. I can still continue to hold on to this position until probably I won't even wait for a break even at this point. I will still continue holding because of the two catalysts that I have just mentioned. So if I manage to wait for almost 2 years or more than 2 years here, I can still wait longer. And what's good about this is it's only 6% of my portfolio. The second stock that I want to talk about is BDO. For BDO, my average here is 93.98. This one started with, of course, during the height of the pandemic. This was the time when I entered in a position for BDO. I was accumulating right here. I know, if I'm not mistaken, there was also a time when I got it more than 100, but it was less than 106. It's either 102 or 104. And then I added more right down here below. Oh, sorry. Let me just remove the image first. So this was the time when, right, at the height of the pandemic, I started accumulating. I Most of my shares were purchased right at the line of 8 or line of 9, and then that led to a really promising base for my video. And right now we are slowly recovering, and what I can say, and I've been saying here to you guys, is that if we are going to look at the bigger picture here, there is a big potential for this stock to really go back. And just imagine if it is going to go back to the 150 level, that is really going to be a good deal for my portfolio. Okay, so right now it is sitting at the 107.5. And well, if you're just going to trade this stock, I am looking at a resistance around the 114. Previously, there is right here. I'm thinking there could be 1 or 2 days where it could potentially stop here, but this for me is a very light resistance, and it could be easily broken. And the nearest that I can see at the moment would be around the 114 level. So with my average being at 93.9, so that's a promising setup. And BDO is uh, 1/3, yeah, 1/3 of my portfolio. So as you can see, with my average being 93.9, and it's currently at 107, then that is a green in my portfolio. The second one is the Double Dragon. Okay, so this is currently our Double Dragon. The price right now is 14.90, and my average here is 14.80. So I only got this, if I'm not mistaken, it was during this period when it revisited, or this period. Okay, so around that time. So I had two entries here, and right now it is already 14.90. So I had two entries, and okay, see that we're at 14.90, and I entered around here, if I'm not mistaken, when it reached around this level, probably the first one, and then it's just within this period, but definitely not yesterday and not today even, but around this period. But this is the newest stock in my portfolio, and as you can see, it is already at 14.90, and my average with my two entries, it amounted to 14.80, and the size in my portfolio is only 5%. So I think this is also one stock that I will closely monitor, because of some people are already starting to show interest in this stock. If you are to look at the volume, for instance, volume right here is increasing compared to the volume in the past. So I think institutions and a lot of investors already showing interest in the stock. Your RSI is also above 50s level, so that's another interesting fact there. Next one, the next stock on my portfolio is Dito is the second oldest stock I have in my portfolio. I had so many entries and exits in this stock from the time uh, it won the third telco this period. So as you can see previously, um, I was able to gain some profit right here, small profit, and I was really, my the size of my portfolio was not that significant yet. So very, very small gains, but several in and out activities in this stock. So right now, if you can see our average here is, I should put this because I would always forget to remove. Okay, I'm going to do it like this. Okay, so it's always there. So as I was saying, um, I entered around this period when it won the third telco, and I managed to buy some more shares here around the 313, 3 something level. And then this is the ending average that we have. It's now 598, but so many in and outs. I was also able to exit here around 794, locked in some profit, and the buying power that I got here, I re-entered around 6.30 right during this period. And during this period, I also entered around 620 something. And now it's already starting to recover. We're at 686. Okay. Notice this part, I will never forget this day because I know I entered around 510, but because of the tool not cooperating, we were not able to execute our entry. And yeah, but then again, that's a done deal. We're still happy that we are on a green for this stock. Okay, so that's for Dito. And overall, if I'm to look at it, with short term wise, there's a resistance at the 7 peso area, but definitely with what is happening right now as we go near the live date or the commercial launch of Dito, I am bullish that we are going to break this resistance and even break the previous resistance around 852 area. This is the next one. So once we are able to do that, then we are going to be in an all-time high. And because we are in an all-time high like ASEN, we need to find the resistance first. So the potential is unlimited at that point. Okay. Next is JFC. Of course, this is the stock ng bayan. This is everybody's stock. Okay, so JFC, my story here for JFC is that I was able to exit during this period. Okay, I was able to lock in some profit right here. I know in the past I had several entries here, but this is one of my good trades because before it declined, I was able to exit my position at the top right here. And then before the pandemic came, I was able to enter, I think around this period. So my average here was around 220, from 210 to 220, and then it declined. Okay, and then after the decline, I was not able to enter right away this period because of course everybody's scared. But I think my attention that time was in video. I added more stocks in my portfolio, but I before JFC was the biggest size in my portfolio, and so I said, okay, I gotta diversify. I added video, and I had more shares entered there. But I was also able to buy some shares right here because you know me, I'm um, an employee, a mere employee. I can only get I can have access to funds during payday, so I had to properly manage that. So BDO. Then around this period, I also was able to buy JFC, and so my average now is at 196, and we are currently at 204. When the price actually, this was already a reduced size because I was able to exit some of my profit. Uh, I was able to exit at 193 during just this period. Okay, before, probably during this time, it's in one of these candlesticks here, because I was thinking, okay, that's a sign of weakness. I can probably around this period. Yeah, this was the candlestick. So I said, maybe it's already going to decline. So I exited just partially. And now, good thing, well, it still dropped some more, but I used my buying power somewhere else. But now it's already recovering, and I think we have a good breakout today. This is the price right now, 200, and that was our previous resistance. And currently, we're starting to trigger the upper band with 62 million on foreign buying. So my thoughts are, there will be a big possibility that continuation in the bullish movement is really going to happen with, okay, that's done, right? So at least, even if I stayed here for quite some time as well, um, this is one of the profitable stocks that I have in my portfolio. First of all, during the previous year, I was already able to trade the trade this stock and exit at the peak, and then re-entered. However, with the pandemic, then it declined. So I said, okay, massive decline happened, right? Instantly. And I was not able to also cut my loss. But my objective for JFC is mid to long term. So I was not even scared that if it is going to go super, super deep, I'll just be buying some more. So that was my objective. I will buy some more, which I did. But I was not able to time the market properly. It was already recovering when I was able to enter. So at least there was a confirmation that it already managed to reverse when I I entered. So it was during this period. Next is SMC. SMC is also one of my good story here. This was also the period when it was during the pandemic when I entered SMC. So currently we have already recovered, right? And well, right now I can say that we are sitting at a possible resistance around 135. See that? You see this one too. So that's a resistance level. And my average here is around 109. That was already increased because here's, I think, if I'm not mistaken, my average here before was 102. And I was able to exit. I forgot my exit, but it was during this period when I was able to exit around 138, 139, if I'm not mistaken. So I was able to exit right here. Good thing. I was able to lock in some profit there, and I re-entered probably around this period. 120. Oh, this. I think this was the period. Because I was able to buy at 125. So it's not this one, but this one. Exited right here, re-entered right here. So now my average is 109. And the reason why I entered in this stock during the height of the pandemic was because I really got interested in them being involved in the building of the airport in Bulacan. So that was really my catalyst. And of course, SMC is SMC, a very stable company. So I plan to hold. Actually, I was a bit already bored with the stock because it took a long time. See that? It took a long time for it to recover. But right now, it is recovering. So if I am to look at the bigger picture is really good. See that? But we're already halfway. The previous peak here was around 188. So probably if I'm halfway there, I could already exit, or I could even leave some and wait for it to go up some more. But this is really a promising stock for me. Now that's only 7.54 percent of my portfolio. Tech. Tech is another stock that I was able to accumulate during the pandemic. I only entered in this stock during the pandemic time. So this one, it was during this period when I added, accumulated some volume. There was also a period, I think, when I entered here, I think six something, six level, and then it dropped, added some more, and then started accumulating. And now it is, and I didn't even notice it, it already reached 16% of my portfolio. The size of it is just almost the same as Dito, right? And our average here for this stock is 6.28. Okay, so I think overall I'm really happy with the outcome of these setups, and I will just have to closely monitor these stocks and really decide when to exit. But I am not really very fond of getting in and out of my positions on a daily basis, because remember, I am a position trader. I exit when I feel profitable and when the technicals suggest that it is going to decline. And as you notice in most of my trades, I don't exit 100% in one go. I lock in some profit and let the rest ride the wave. So, for instance, in Dito, I was able to lock in some profit when it reached almost the 8 peso level. SMC, I was able to lock in as well. GFC, the same, but they're still in there. Those buying power that I was able to get out of those exited trades, I re-enter, because what's good about it is you're able to lower down your average. Well, technically, if the price is already moving higher, the average is also going to move up. So remember, in my video started with 92, SMC started with 102. So even though the average starts to climb up, at least it will still show green in your portfolio because you are already profitable. The current price is already way beyond your average. At the same time, I have already locked in some profit that I could use to buy some more shares. So look at this. At least when I buy some more shares, I wait for it to dip first, right? I wait for it to dip, and still my conviction is there, because when I view a stock, I look at it in mid to long term perspective. Tech, for instance, tech, behind the success of a telecommunication business, you have tech. Like, for instance, JFC. What are the things that JFC need in their business that could also move along with the company? So if JFC is going to go up, their suppliers will also move up, right? For instance, Dito. Does Dito have a partnership with a company that builds towers? So, for example, if Dito is going to tap TBGI to build their towers, the chances of TBGI growing, if Dito will grow, it would be really high as well, right? So what else? Yeah, those are the things that I can see. So if that company is already very expensive, and you know that that company is a growth stock, try to understand the business of the company and the people they deal with, their suppliers, and is that supplier also involved in the stock market? Maybe you can tap them if they're their price is or price or technical setup or chart is looking healthy, then you enter that, right? So that my perfect example here is the tech. I know they got some good deals in the US, something to do with providing 5G. I forgot the details, but they got some good deals in the US. Okay, so those are the stocks that I have reviewed for you today, and this is an actual portfolio I'm currently holding in COL, and I hope you were able to gain some good takeaways here. This is not a perfect portfolio, as you can see. Uh, Even the ATM, that's why I really took some time explaining ATM, because this is not a very successful trade for me, and I had to pay the price because I did not cut my loss early. Then the effect was for me to stay on this stock for too long, and I could have traded some other stocks. I could have used my buying power somewhere else and become profitable, but because I hesitated to cut my loss early, then my money slept for 2 years. But one good thing about it is that I'm not I did not go all in. Never go all in, because whatever happens, at least it's only 6% of my portfolio. Look at that. See that? So notice the stocks that I I have the most share. That would be BDO, because I know BDO is gonna stay long in the industry, really really long. Okay, so I think that's it. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to drop a comment if you'd like your stocks to be reviewed. And by the way, I'm also in Patreon, and in Patreon I do research. I share my stock picks, and I'm also very active in the US market presently, and probably tomorrow or the next days I will be able to also share what is in my portfolio in the US market, right? I am also heavily concentrated in cryptocurrency. Only one cryptocurrency right now, that's XRP. So I can also create a video about it. But I hope you're able to get some good insights. So if you also want to join me in Patreon and eToro, I have my links down below. So I could also guide you if you want to start trading in the US market, because I also put my research about the US market in my Patreon. There you go. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Bye bye for now.